about 4 minutes left. The run that Florida went on, a lot of their points came off of offensive rebound, second chance.
Yes.
I guess kind of how frustrating was that not only they were able to kind of come back, a lot of their points were, from that second chance.
Well, they're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, so we knew coming in that a huge determining factor for us is that, we had to finish the possession, box out, and rebound. They go consistently to the offensive glass. They've got length, persistence in terms of getting second chance points. And you're right, we're up by 4 minutes ago, and down the stretch, they got 4 offensive rebounds for 7 points. And so that was the game.
Front row, coach.
Another slow start tonight.
Yes.
How head scratching is it for you when?
Very head scratching, yes.
Is there a sense of helplessness sometimes when it's happening? And when I say it, what I mean is that you could try any combination, maybe tweaking the starting lineup, whatever it is, maybe earlier substitutions, and it seems like it's always happening against these kinds of opponents, no matter what you're doing on your end, that it seems to turn out the same way for the first half.
Well, it's something that you're right. I can't explain. To play with that type of energy and effort in the second half and not have that consistently in the first half or for an entire game is something that's been the consistent theme for us this year. Is playing the way that we want to play for one half, and it's just I think I've told you guys this before. It's not sustainable. It's just not. You may be able to get away with it, one time against Dayton, but it's just not sustainable, especially against good teams. And you have to put a full 40 minutes together. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you have to be disciplined. And my definition of discipline is being committed to doing the right things the right way with the energy and effort that is required out there on the floor the entire game. And that's something that we're just going to have to figure out, because it just doesn't work.
If I may ask a follow-up on
Sure.
that. We've talked to the guys about it a couple of times already this year, and they said that sometimes they can sense themselves collectively getting tight during those early stretches, almost like here it goes again. As a coach, do you sense anything changing from their disposition during some of those stretches?
No, I don't. The two days of practice prior to the game today were our 2 best practices. I was really encouraged. I felt like after our game on Saturday and then the practices following that we really took steps forward and where we wanted to be. And I was really excited about this game and seeing the game on this past Saturday and the practices that we have to translate out there on the floor. In the first half, it just didn't. Second half, it did, but the first half, it didn't.
Third row.
Yeah, Hubert, not to belabor the point, but what did you say at halftime to get them to that level of energy and enthusiasm and toughness that you talked about? Is it the same halftime speech that's getting them to get to that point? Or?
Pretty much. But that speech that's just how I communicate and talk. It's not just at halftime. That's the way that I communicate with them in practice, before the game, and just didn't play well enough.
Second row.
Hubert, along those lines, maybe the halftime speech excluded, where did you think maybe the spark started in the second half? Because there was just a lot more fight, it seemed like.
It didn't seem like it was.
Where did you think that started for you guys? Like, what got it sparked?
Us having our backs against the wall and your backs are always against the wall. That's how you have to play. That's how you have to prepare. You just always have to, your preparation, you always have to be that way. And once this team gets there, then it's going to be fun to watch.
To our right, coach.
Hubert, is there something positive that you can take out of RJ's performance and maybe Ian getting going a little bit there in the second half, moving forward?
Well, I mean, RJ's been a big-time player for 5 years. I've never been concerned or thought about percentages in terms of his shooting. My focus is the growth and the potential of this team, and that's where my focus has been.
Front row left.
Hubert, I know there were nights where shots go in, shots don't go in. Obviously, 5 of 28 from 3 today, and Florida kind of had their rhythm from outside. How much of a factor do you think the 3-point difference made, just the way the game progressed?
No, I mean, yes, you said 5 for 28. Yeah, that would be great if we shot a better percentage, but we're up by 4 with 4 minutes to go. I mean, it's all about the little details that make big things happen: box outs, rebounding, making free throws, execution on the offensive end. That's what it comes down to. And so there'll be games when we're shooting the ball extremely well from 3. We didn't do it tonight, but that wasn't the factor in which led us to losing the game. There were a number of things, but we just didn't rebound the basketball, especially down the stretch.
Front row.
I saw Ellie Cadeau in tears as he was leaving the court. What do you say to him after a tough stretch at the end, and then after having all that emotion after the game?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of emotions. I don't say very much to him after the game because of that. There's so many emotions going on. I think in those times, I think it's really important to take a step back and just be able to think and let those emotions sit in, and then being able to communicate. I mean, I learned that from Coach Smith. After a game, he just never said anything, win or lose, and I rarely say very much after a game because I want to collect my thoughts as well, and I want to make sure that my communication is straightforward and direct. And so it doesn't surprise me. Elliot loves to win and wanted to win this game, and it doesn't surprise me that he was an emotional, and wouldn't surprise me if the rest of the guys in the locker room were emotional as well.
Front row, go right.
Hubert, you touched on it there, up 4 minutes to go, and you got your team where you want it. How do you keep these guys up and keep on the level as you take another tough loss, get them to move forward?
That's life. You have a choice, but you really don't have a choice. You can stay down, you can point fingers, you can whine and complain, you can make excuses, or you can get your tail back up and step forward and start swinging again. So, there's just no choice in that. You're going to get knocked down in life. Not everything's going to go your way. And so the only thing you really have control over is how you react and how you respond. And my communication with them is how we react and how we respond from this, and our preparation for our next game is going to be huge.
Last question, second row to our right. Steve?
Oh, no.
No?
That was good, yeah.
Okay, last question there.
Hubert, you mentioned the need to have a preparation like your back is against the wall all the time for this team. I guess what steps do you need to see from the team to kind of get to that level with obviously another tough test in this section?
No, that's a great question. When I say a back against a wall, that's just who I am, and that's my personality, and so obviously disappointed with tonight, but as I said before, it's an opportunity for us to get back up and move forward, and we're going to do that.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.